You fall out of the policeman's car on the way to the nick. Remember that you were arrived. All that now to be said, let your ship sail on the sea of life and bon voyage.
So I take it it's left to me to finish the show off, and of course, as Peter has instructed me, I can talk for England, so I'm not going to today, because being the beer monster that he is, as everybody knows, he'll really get peed off with me for wasting his beer time. I don't like these microphones. Do you mind if I don't use it?
Not so.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can everybody hear me well?
Yeah.
Good. Thank God for that, because I hate those bloody things. Okay, right. Of course, Peter stole some of my thunder, because it's actually my job to say thank you to the bridesmaids, not yours, which is what I'm going to do now. And of course, I am going to thank the bridesmaids, and I'd like everybody to toast them, not just for the work that they put in today, but how magnificent they look as well. And one in particular, of course, little Trinea. I think everybody should stand up and clap Trinea for the way she is. You can actually all stay stood up, actually, because you're now supposed to clap the ushers. But the most important reason you clap them is because they actually turned up sober. Which is and of course Dan did a superb job as the ring bell. Right, I guess it's customary to tell everybody in here how me and the groom met. Well, we were 11 years old, okay, and we were starting at school, grammar school nonetheless. And if there was one thing that my parents were afraid of, it was how much of a clown I'd be in class and never do any work. Well, she didn't really need to worry, because if there was one person who was going to outdo me for being a clown in class, it was Monsieur Ryan. I think we had competitions for the first 2 or 3 years as to who could get strapped. Now don't get me wrong, we weren't bad boys, okay? Back in the 70s when you went to school, you weren't bad boys, you were naughty. You didn't do things that they do today in school. And we just, well, it was fun for us. We just went to school to do nothing other than have a laugh with our mates, and that's exactly what we did. The problem being is it was quite a competition. I hate to say, he actually beat me on most occasions. The amount of times he used to drive the teachers nuts. And in fact, I've even sat there, and it's not just Peter, of course, it's a whole of the Ryan family. And of course, we all gathered that the Ryan family are a bit of a, like, strange family. I mean, I've sat there where Miss Dolan has consistently argued for an hour that he set fire to the desk. And we all know it was actually Tim. But you know what? That's the Ryan family for you, okay? But that's the kind of things we did at school. I mean, Peter was a very, very keen sportsman, as was I. And the beauty of our school when we were kids was everybody who played on this football team played in the cricket team as well. John Joe, myself, Peter, Mike Ryan, Lee Wilkinson, to name but a few. And we had some fantastic times playing football. I mean, if you look at Peter, what position would you expect him to play? Look at his height. Look at his height. Look at his hands. Look at the size of his hands. You soon realise he's great for a goalkeeper. If you actually look at the size of his feet, you realise why Lynn's marrying him. Peter was always one of these guys that was always very good at what he did as well. Funny enough, I mean, he loved sport. He was a great goalkeeper, to be fair. He must have kept quite a few clean sheets. I remember us doing something as a school team that the English national team hadn't been able to do at all during the 70s and 80s, and we had this German school team come over, and we stuffed them, didn't we? 6-2 on aggregate. Of course, he only conceded 2. I won't mention the fact that I scored 3. He only conceded 2, so he did his job properly. He was also a great cricketer, and if the truth be known, okay, he's got the best figures that even Freddie Flintop would be proud of. 8 for 8. Now, any cricket fans in here will know 8 for 8 is superb. But it just illustrates the type of person that Pete is. And from there on, of course, at that time, they were the only sports he could play. And of course, during school, we also went on quite a few holidays, didn't we? Most notably to Canada. Now, Peter loves to tell this story about the fact that no longer had we got off the plane than I nearly got us all battered, in his own words, for trying to sexually harass a girl. 14. What Peter doesn't tell you is it's okay for him to turn around and say that, but he always forgets to tell you that at the age of 7, he broke his leg trying to chase after a girl he fancied. So that showed you how early he was at it. Exactly. And you didn't know. He was only 7. So I still say it was him who was sexually harassing the girl, not me. We went to Scotland. Remember Scotland? Oh my lord, pillow fights. Well, nonetheless, we broke quite a few windows in our bunk beds, and oh my lord. So as you can gather, Peter and I spent quite a lot of time together as we were kids. I'm not too sure whether that was of course, I haven't seen Peter since we just left school. So of course, what am I expecting? Well, I'll tell you what I'm expecting. Look at Phil. That's what I'm expecting. And I've walked in, and I think it was John Joe, or it might have been Mike Jones, and I've turned around and said, "Where's Pete Ryan, for crying out loud? He said, don't be stupid, he's 3 inches too short." Then I realised. Remember the 70s? Adding 3 inches to him, I thought he was a lot taller than he actually was. Anyway, I should talk about his qualities, I suppose. And Peter, in all the time I've known him, I have to say, is one of the most genuine people you will ever see. And I think that comes across in the whole of the family, to be fair. Everybody has made, certainly me, and I haven't seen Grant for donkey's years, I haven't seen his mother for God knows how many years, and they make you feel so welcome, and that's just a warmth that you get from this family. And on that basis, Lynn, I have to say, you are a very, very lucky person coming into this family. Now, of course, I also have to compliment you, because apparently that's customary. I mean, here you are taking away one of life's greatest men, you know, and you're going to like, oh, you can still go to the pub. But I have to say, A, firstly, you look absolutely stunning. As you know, I don't know you that well. We've met a couple of times. Every time I've known you, Lynn, you've come across as a warm, nice, caring person. I sat there and I actually watched today while you were up there taking pictures, just the two of you, after all years. And the look in this lady's eyes, looking at Peter, you just know they're going to be together for the rest of their lives. And they really, really are such a nice match, because from what I know of Lynn, from what I do know of Peter, you're not going to get many more genuine couples. On that basis, as I said, I'm very, very mindful of the fact that that poor lady hasn't had to pull a drink for God knows how long, which is bored stiff. On that basis, I'm actually going to just remind you of something that Joanne Woodward has said in the past, and anybody who is probably my age and a bit older will know Joanne Woodward as the long-suffering wife of that sex symbol Paul Newman. And she turned around and she said, after a while the sexiness goes, after a while the looks go. She said, the best way to a woman's heart is to make her laugh every single day. Yes. Okay? And to be quite honest with you, love, you're going to be waking up to that face every day. With that, I'd like to toast Mr. and Mrs. Ryan, Lynn and Pete.
Thanks, Paul.